Okay, so today I made my first successful circuit using, so this is my Arduino Nano. It's another company who made it, but it's the same thing. I've got then six 1.5 volt batteries, AAA batteries, AA batteries, AAA batteries, AA batteries, yeah, powering here. And so the blue cable here is in the 5 volts port, and this one is then in the ground port. And you can see we follow this red cable all the way over. We're moving over to the minus column down here, or row down here, whichever way you want to look at it, okay, for the ground. We've then got the blue coming over to the other side on the breadboard to then the positive. Right, so this is the power coming in. And then what we do is we have this LED here, and this is then linked up to the switch on one side, and then on the other side of the switch. So the power is coming through this way to the LED, coming to the ground, coming up to this red cable, which is the ground, coming all the way back over to complete the circuit. And if we follow where the power's going, the power's coming out through the blue into this, then it's running down into this yellow cable first of all, running up through here, and this is then running, got another transistor here, here's the other transistor. Okay, it's now running into the middle pin of the transistor, which is the base pin, which is sending the signal to activate the transistor. Now the orange one here is running power through to the collector pin of the transistor, all right? And then on the emitter pin, which is the yellow one here, this is then coming out to then here, which is then going into the resistor, which is then moving into the switch. And as long as the transistor on the base pin has power, and this is an NPN transistor, so as long as this has at least a high voltage coming into the transistor, into the base pin, the transistor will be activated, meaning that it will allow electrons to pass through into the resistor, into the switch, and when we press this down we get power on. Now if we remove power from the resistor, from the transistor, sorry, from the base pin, we can see we can do it again and we don't get any power. That's because the transistor base pin has been in the state of off, and when we give it power it puts it into the on state. Anyway, I learned all this literally only using ChatGPT 3.5. Asking questions about the transistors. Now, yes, granted, I have watched a couple of videos about transistors, but that was really it. I mean, I know what a transistor does at like a nanometer level for CPUs and memories and so on, but when you get to like this level, about how they actually work and how the data passes through them and so on, based on electronics, when I bought a whole bunch of transistors here, you see I bought a whole bunch of transistors here to use, to learn with. But anyway, this is now my first project done, turning on the LED. How is this going to help me? Well, you can add a second transistor, for example, to create an OR gate. Now, as long as, well, this is an NPN transistor, and if you get a PNP transistor, it means that when low power comes through here, when low power comes through, sorry, on the collector pin, then it will come through, and you could add another one to have an OR gate as well. But if you added two NPNs together, you would then have an AND gate basically, and you could add another transistor after that to make a NAND gate. But this is all kind of like pertinent to the other projects that I've got in mind, especially to do with like security and to be able to activate these ultrasonic sensors, or the sonic sensors, whatever they're called, to detect any movement, basically. And once it detects movement, it can then essentially work as the switch to send power through the circuit to then, yeah, the LED here is synonymous to doing an action digitally, and this could then go back, for example, to the CPU, the actual chip, the microcontroller, which could then access a network card on here, or Bluetooth, which could send a signal to another device, which would then go in the network and send a push notification, or start a video recorder, or start a camera or something. So it might sound very trivial right now, but being able to do this is kind of what's important. Anyway, this is just for interest. One, about circuits, and two about how to use ChatGPT for free to teach you how to do this stuff. ChatGPT doesn't give you any like visual aids or stuff. It's just like pure text. But I mean, if you ask the questions and you re-ask questions and say, hey, explain it to me like a fifth grade, or explain it to me at like a PhD level, or can you go into detail with this even further, or I just don't understand, give me some metaphors, and give me even more metaphors, and give me even more examples, and then come up with your own examples to confirm to ChatGPT that you have understood it correctly. And then I found, like, to falsify ChatGPT, because scientific method is like, just because ChatGPT tells you it's right all the time, you have to get it to say the right thing, and then formulate something together, and then put an error in your stuff so it can say, no, you got it wrong as well. So you know that you can test it from both ways. And once you do this, then ChatGPT can become a lot better. And even just saying, are you sure? And it will recheck itself, and it goes, oh no, I've actually, thank you for being diligent, and thank you for correcting me and stuff. Anyway, that said, thanks very much for watching, if you're watching, and otherwise, yeah, ciao, goodbye.